Disney is famous for their immersive theme parks and world-class dark rides, but they also have a really nice roller coaster lineup across all their parks. While most of the coasters lean towards the family demographic, many are highly themed experiences taking place around these giant mountains or past these elaborate show scenes. This makes them memorable experiences for all ages, and in this video, I will rank the chain's top 25 roller coasters. Before starting the list, I need to note that this will only include the coasters I have personally ridden. While I have been to most of the Disney parks, I have not been to Shanghai Disneyland nor Hong Kong Disneyland. Most coasters at those parks are clones that can be found elsewhere, but there are two unique ones that will not be reflected on this list. The most notable exclusion is Big Grizzly Mountain Runaway Mine Cars. This is a unique coaster from Vekoma combining elements of Expedition Everest and Big Thunder Mountain in a one attraction, as it features a beautiful rocky mountain and a backward section as well. This list will also not include Wandering Oak and Sliding Sleighs. This is a smaller coaster as part of the new Frozen themed area in Hong Kong. Starting off the list at number 25 is Chip 'n Dale's Gadget Coaster at Disneyland. This is a standard Vekoma roller skater, but was recently plussed by some additional theming. Some Chip 'n Dale statues were placed around the ride that shout with delight whenever trains pass by. The layout is mild, but it's very smooth and a great starter coaster for kids. Number 24, Goofy's Sky School at Disney California Adventure. This is a subpar Wild Mouse. Built by Mack, this one starts off with a series of elevated hairpin turns, all of which offer nice laterals. But the second half is spoiled by a series of abrupt breaks. These not only hurt, but they can kill the pacing. This is also a questionable fit for a Disney park between the off-the-shelf layout and the light theming consisting of just some 2D signs. Up next would have been Primeval Whirl at Disney's Animal Kingdom. This was a dual set of spinning wild mice from Reverchon. The ride was woefully under-themed like the prior ride, which probably contributed to its demise. Then the ride also had some jerky transitions. While its fit was also questionable, the ride had its merits. The drops were sharp, and the cars would spin like tops in the second half. Number 23, Casey Jr. Le Petit Train du Cirque at Disneyland Paris. This is a Vekoma-powered coaster. It functions more as an observation ride, as you have a scenic journey above the sets from Storybook Land canal boats. It is a brisk tour, but the visuals are fun nonetheless, especially if you ride in the unique backwards row at the end of the train. Just don't expect much in terms of thrills. Number 22, RC Racer at Walt Disney Studios. This is an intimate half-pipe where you rock back and forth. It is an odd fit for a Disney park, but it does look cool. The experience feels more like a pendulum flat ride. You have semi-punchy launches to accelerate you, then the slightly beyond vertical spikes offer solid and sustained floater airtime. The cycle is extremely short though, with just 2 to 3 full climbs, but that is to help with capacity. The ride was later cloned for Hong Kong Disneyland and Shanghai Disneyland. Number 21, Indiana Jones et Le Temple du Péril at Disneyland Paris. This is another off-the-shelf layout, but this one is very well themed as you wind around an ancient temple. This keeps the elements hidden both on and off ride. The layout is identical to the Pinfari looping Zyklons that can be found elsewhere, but this one was built by Intamin. The ride is not the most comfortable between the hard restraints and quick directional changes, but it is tolerable if you lean forwards. This allows me to enjoy the pops of airtime and the elevation changes, and the very forceful vertical loop midway through the ride. Number 20, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom in Shanghai Disneyland. This is a unique family coaster from Vekoma with rocking trains. This isn't too noticeable during the high-speed sections, but you will get some swaying during the slower bits. The coaster section is on the shorter side, but there are some zippy drops in the rear row. But the biggest strength is the visuals. The outdoor bits take place around a well-landscaped man-made hill. Then sandwiched in between the coaster bits is a 1-minute dark ride sequence through a mine, passing the dwarfs hard at work. Number 19, Raging Spirits at Tokyo Disney Sea. This has an identical layout and a similar theme to Indiana Jones, but this ride got an extensive refurbishment several years ago that included a large retrack. This made the experience far smoother. The airtime is a bit milder in this one, but I'll take the superior comfort over a slightly less wild ride because I don't have to ride this one defensively. Number 18. Matterhorn Bobsled, specifically the Fantasyland side at Disneyland. This historic coaster takes place around a giant snowy mountain. It is really cool how you can carve your way through caves and wind around the structure. This makes the ride feel way faster than it really is. The turns can be a bit jerky, especially because the trains have very little padding, so you should brace yourself for those. Number 17. Crush's Coaster at Walt Disney Studios. This is a mostly indoor spinning coaster. It starts off with a brief dark ride bit past some Finding Nemo characters. Then the main layout is the commonly cloned Mauer SC2000 layout identical to Laugh Track at Hershey Park. You have a big swooping drop at the start that's a lot of fun. Then the layout is minimally braked, so you get a consistent spin with all the directional changes. And all of this takes place in a dark environment with a pulse-pounding audio score and some projection effects that add to the disorientation. Number 16. Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney's Hollywood Studios. This Vekoma launch coaster is the most intense coaster at Disney World. It starts with a solid LSM launch, then the rest of the layout takes place in the dark. There are 3 disorienting inversions, including a forceful sea serpent roll at the start. Many of the turns feel like filler, but the sense of speed is helped by some 2D cutouts that you pass over, under, and through. And the ride does feature a fun story where you're racing towards an Aerosmith concert. And the experience is complete with the band appearing in a pre-show, and you have onboard audio featuring some of their most famous songs. Number 15. Slinky Dog Dash at Disney's Hollywood Studios. This is a delightful launch coaster from Mack. The accelerations and forces are mild, but you can get a smidge of airtime in the back row. What this ride excels in is the sightlines. I love the visuals as you carve your way through Toy Story Land, especially because you pass some large show elements, most notably during the big helix towards the start, and then during the second launch sequence with all the spinners and rings. Number 14. Big Thunder Mountain at Tokyo Disneyland. This is the weakest of the 4 iterations of this ride. The dips don't have the airtime pops that the others provide, but it does everything else well. The setting around the mountain is exciting as ever between the visuals and near misses. Then the turns and helixes offer good laterals, especially because the lack of seat dividers allow you to slide side to side. Number 13. Matterhorn Bobsled's the Tomorrowland side at Disneyland. This is the far superior side. The turns are tighter, so they offer some sharp lateral jolts. This can make the ride more uncomfortable if you're unprepared though, but I like the bite. Then there are 2 drops later in the ride giving quick bursts of airtime, which you do not get on the other side. Number 12. Big Thunder Mountain at Magic Kingdom. Take everything that Tokyo's version does, but add in some airtime pops on the drops. Make sure to ride in the back row, and there are 3 or so drops that will abruptly toss you into the lap bar. Number 11. Big Thunder Mountain at Disneyland. This is very similar to the Magic Kingdom version in terms of forces, but this one has 3 advantages. 1. I like the dark tunnel at the end of the first third. It offers an out-of-control feeling. 2. I think this one tracks a little bit smoother. 3. This one has some projection mapping effects during the final lift hill. Number 10. Expedition Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom. This Vekoma roller coaster takes place in and around a giant mountain. It creates some amazing sightlines on and off ride. Then you also come face to face with the Yeti later in the ride as well. While it no longer moves, it still looks amazing. Then the coaster elements are enjoyable as well. The largest drop offers a smidge of airtime in the back row. Then the positive G-forces this ride dishes out are impressive. You get pretty good Gs in the outdoor helix, but the star is the enclosed backwards helix. This element is shockingly intense and dizzying. Number 9. Incredicoaster Disney California Adventure. This is a weird coaster to see at a Disney park. It is designed to look like a classic boardwalk wooden coaster with a big out and back layout. It is light on the theming, as the Incredibles overlay consists of just some on-ride audio and a few themed tunnels. But the ride elements are solid on this Intamin coaster. The initial launch has a nice kick to it. Then there are some airtime pops scattered about. And the vertical loop, while oddly shaky, is very forceful. Then this is a super long experience as well, but some of the turns and helixes do feel like filler. Number 8. Avengers Assemble Flight Force at Walt Disney Studios. You may be surprised to see this ride so much higher than Rock and Roller Coaster, but there are a few reasons for this. 1. I am a much bigger fan of the Avengers IP than Aerosmith. 2. I actually like the on-ride effects. They do a good job accentuating the speed between the starfield and the well-timed use of screens. 3. This one runs several seconds faster. This gives some extra oomph on the elements later in the ride. Number 7. Tron Light Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom in Shanghai Disneyland. This is a visually stunning coaster. The canopy looks amazing, particularly at night, and the indoor section is stylized with these bright blue lights. The motorbike seating makes the ride unique, and it sells the racing aspect of the attraction as you zip through the grid. There are several brake runs that do noticeably take away some speed though, but that indoor park compensates with all sorts of visuals and the amazing musical score from Daft Punk. The thrills come from the start when you have a punchy initial launch and that speedy outdoor turnaround that immediately follows. Number 6. Space Mountain at Tokyo Disneyland. This specific version will be removed soon, but I enjoyed my rides on it. It is indoors and in near total darkness like the others. You have a series of turns that progressively get faster and tighter. The last few turns have some really nice laterals to them. Then the layout is nearly identical to the Disneyland version, but this one does have 2 drawbacks. 1. It lacks the onboard audio. 2. It doesn't feel nearly as fast. I think that's a combination of the lighter trains and less fans. I am unclear whether the Hong Kong version rides like Tokyo's or California's. Number 5. Big Thunder Mountain at Disneyland Paris. This is far superior to the other versions of this ride. This comes down to the ride's location. This station is on the mainland, and a majority of the layout takes place on an island, so you have an extended underground tunnel at the start and end of the attraction. The final one in particular has an incredible sense of speed as you just keep on dropping further and further down in total darkness, and it's an exciting finale you don't get in the other installations. Then everything else is similarly great between the laterals, airtime pops, and the visuals throughout. Number 4. Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain at Disneyland Paris. This is the most intense Disney coaster, and I really like it. This is way different than the other Space Mountains, as this one's an indoor launch coaster from Vekoma with inversions. The initial launch is very theatric and forceful. It takes place in a cannon, and has good G's as you blast uphill. Then the indoor section has some very forceful elements, including some turns early in the ride and the Sidewinder inversion as well. I also like the theming. The dark starfield gives a good sense of speed. You then have some well-timed screen effects, especially on the corkscrew because you rotate around TIE fighters. Then there's onboard audio as icing on the cake. The ride is a bit shaky, but fortunately, it was retrofit with vest restraints in recent years to eliminate any possibility of headbanging. Number 3. Space Mountain at Disneyland. As I alluded to in the entry for the Tokyo version, this one has a wonderful sense of speed, and that's impressive considering the ride only has one noticeable drop. This ride only goes 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour, but the tight turns, dark environment, and brilliant use of fans make it feel way faster. And the onboard audio score from Michael Giacchino is fantastic. It is atmospheric, and the tempo enhances the elements, especially on the last few turns that'll really toss you sideways. Number 2. Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom. This is an indoor coaster with 2 tracks, but both feel identical to me, so the ride will take a single spot in this list. The biggest impact is how much weight is in the rockets. If you have a heavy train, you can get some shockingly good airtime on the 4 largest drops. Then the turns are sharp, offering quick lateral jolts as well. The ride is jerky, but the super well padded trains prevent any discomfort. The visuals I'm showing on screen are during the Christmas party when they have multicolored lighting effects on the interior, but usually the ride is near total darkness, which amplifies the sense of speed and thrills. And coming in, number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. This is an exemplary coaster offering a dynamic ride experience and plenty of theming. You have a series of pre-shows at the start that quite literally teleport you into the Marvel Universe. Then you have a long experience. This opened as the longest indoor coaster in the world. And every inch of track is exciting between the airtime-filled dips and the forceful turns. Adding into the mayhem is the fact that the vehicles have a controlled spin to them, and you have rowdy onboard audio. Last but not least, there are a ton of visuals along the way to enhance the speed and progress the story. This includes a starfield effect like many of Disney's indoor coasters, and these massive screens. So those are the top 25 roller coasters at the Disney parks across the globe. What are your favorite coasters in the chain? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.